Okay, this question appears in the 2023 PSLE Science paper. Students are used pencil to draw the life cycle of a mosquito using only words and arrow. So they need to know that the mosquito has a 4-stage life cycle, beginning with the egg, arrow to the larva, and then arrow to the pupa, and arrow to the adult. And then next, they need to state one characteristics of the adult mosquito that classify it as an insect. So this is a P3 level questions, or P4. You can either say the adult mosquito has 6 legs, or you can say the adult mosquito has 3 body parts. So any of these will qualify 1 mark for you, for the student. So next, look at this table. John studied the effects of temperature on the life cycle of mosquito. His findings are as shown. So number one, they need to understand this part, the temperature in degrees Celsius, and the number of days to complete one life cycle. So these are the extra annotation which I teach students to annotate. So you can divide into 4 equal sections by putting 15, 20, 25, and 30 every 5 degrees interval. Okay, the reason of doing this annotation is to help you to visualize the questions, because from here you can see from 15 degrees to 30 degrees increase in temperature, the number of days to complete one life cycle decreases. So this will give you a better visualization to prepare your written answer here. Okay, next, the student got to understand what is global warming and how global warming will affect the life cycle of mosquito and a number of adult mosquito. So you can say that during global warming, the temperature of the surrounding increases. From the graph, as the temperature of the surrounding increases, there are fewer number of days. You can actually quote this part, or you can say the number of days to complete one life cycle decreases as temperature increase. This means that the mosquito will take fewer days to complete one life cycle. That means this will lead to more adult mosquito. So this is a full solution given here. As you can see, you complete the life cycle, egg, larva, pupa, adult, and then these are the possible solutions. Personally, I prefer student, right? 3 pairs of legs or 6 legs. Try to omit this one, the feelers, because there are other animals, they also have feelers. So you can write 3 body parts or 3 pair of legs. And this is the final part where 2 information need to be given. Number 1, you can say that, okay, first you need to say during global warming, the temperature increases. And then from the graph, as the temperature increases, there are fewer number of days to complete the life cycle of mosquito. And then secondly, you must mention, this means that the mosquito will grow into adults in fewer days, leading to more mosquito. Good. Let's continue the next question. Okay, the next questions talk about the interpretation of table. So in PSLE, students need to understand the information being presented either in table form or in graph form. So the earlier, you can see this is a graphical representation. This is a table representation. So here, there are 2 activities, resting and jogging. And also the parts of the body, leg muscles, and digestive system. So part A, explain why there is an increase in the amount of blood transported to the leg muscles when jogging. So the student got to understand that during intense activity, the muscles, be it the legs or the arms or other parts of the body, will need more oxygen and digested food to produce more energy. So with this understanding, they need to write the answer that is actually equivalent to 2 marks given. So the full solution should be here. So you must mention when jogging, more energy is needed by the legs. The heart will pump more blood to transport more oxygen and more digested food to the legs so that more respiration can take place. Okay, in case you did not write more respiration, it's okay. As long as you say that more oxygen and digested food are needed to produce more energy. Okay, to produce more energy. However, you need to add in this additional part because as the body exercises, more carbon dioxide is also produced. So you should say at the same time, more carbon dioxide can be carried away from the legs to the lungs to be exhaled from the body. So for this question, you need to talk about the blood carrying the more oxygen, more digested food to supply to the legs to produce more energy. At the same time, the blood also carries away more carbon dioxide away from the legs. Okay, part B, using this information, explain how absorption of digested food is affected. So if we will focus on this part, the second row, digestive system, and during jogging, you can see it reduced to 720 units. So you must understand that this part B is actually related to part A. Because during jogging, more of the blood is being supplied to the legs than the digestive system. So you should say that there will be less absorption of digested food during jogging. Why? More blood is transported to the legs instead of the small intestine of the digestive system. Therefore, at the small intestine, less digested food can enter the bloodstream. So this is also 2 marks. So you notice this question, total there are 4 marks. And this question is actually testing on the P5 content of both the circulatory and the respiratory system. So it's important that you have a solid foundation in P3 to P5 content in your science. So I wish you all the best in your training with One Academy. Okay, let's look at question 31. It says that a special dish can be used to find out how polluted water is. Polluted water has dirt in it. The dish is tied to a rope and lowered into water until it can no longer be seen. So to visualize this, I actually advise students to draw a water line here to indicate this is the surface, and then to draw a depth line up to 20 meters and a midpoint at 10 meters. So with this drawing, they can actually better visualize what is happening in this experiment. So also label this part 1, 2, 3 to indicate there are 3 legs. Because by labeling 1, 2, 3, it actually helps you to answer question A. Because it says state one variable that was changed. So in this experiment, is the person, the Yun Xing, is actually investigating how polluted the water is in the 3 lakes. So the question A is the 3 different lakes. Part B, explain why the results were reliable. Okay, reliable means that if you take the measurements, all the measurements have similar or the same results. So from here, we can see that for each lake, 3 measurements are being taken. So you should say that the experiment was repeated 3 times for each lake, and the measurements for each lake are almost the same. You can see these values, they are actually differs only by a slight amount, about 5 units. And part C, based on Yun Xing's result, identify the lake that was least polluted, explain why. So you can see in Lake S, right, that this can be visible up to 755 centimeters. If you take the average of these 3 numbers, it's also about 7.5 meters deep or 750 centimeters. So the answer is Lake S, that this can be seen at the deepest part of the 3 lakes. This means that there is least dirt. Okay, you must use the superlative because in comparison of 3 or more, right, you must use the superlative. For example, in this case, it's least, or maybe in other situation like the best conductor of heat, okay, you must use the superlative as you learn in your English. So this means that there is least dirt in Lake S, blocking off the light entering the lake. So this one is another interpretation of a table form. You can see there's quite a number of interpretation. Question 30 also interpret from the table. Question 29 also from graph. So we can see in PSLE 3 consecutive questions is actually testing the students the interpretation of graphs and tables. So this is actually related to mathematics, reading of measurements. So I wish you well in your training with One Academy. Thank you. Okay, this questions is actually a P5 electricity questions. And this circuit diagram, it can be complicated or can be simple. So you need to observe carefully. Okay, these are the extra annotation which I've added onto the diagram. Okay, first of all, you must notice there are two batteries connected in series. So you indicate by putting the letter 2 here or the alphabet 2. And then this circuit S, it was open. And then in this question, they say when switch S is closed, the iron bar, which is this T-shaped iron bar, it moves actually up and down between points A and B. Okay, between the points A and B, this part. And the bulb P turn on and off repeatedly. So you need to explain why the iron bar, the T-shaped iron bar here, moves between A and B. So by stating this question here, you see when switch S is closed, electricity from the two batteries will flow through the closed circuit and turn the fixed iron cylinder into an electromagnet, which will attract the iron bar upwards. As the iron bar moves from A to B, an open circuit will be formed between the metal contacts. This will cause the electric current to stop. Hence, the electromagnet will be demagnetized, causing the iron bar to drop back to position A. Okay, so you answer in your own words for this section. Okay, this section is 2 marks. First of all, you must mention when it is closed, electric current will flow through the fixed iron cylinder, turning it into an electromagnet, which will attract the iron bar, which is magnetic. Okay, iron is magnetic, so it will attract the T-shaped iron bar upwards. As it moves upwards, an open circuit will be formed between the metal contacts, therefore cutting off the electric current, causing the electromagnet to demagnetize. This will cause the T-shaped iron bar to drop back to position A. Okay, so that's fine. State which bulb or bulbs are lighted when iron bar is at A. So when at A, if you draw this circuit diagram, the red color arrows, right? You will see that both bulbs will be lit because it will form a closed circuit in this manner. So it's bulb P and Q. Okay, part C. When the iron bar is at B, that means at B, it will form this close contact here. You will notice that only one bulb will be lit. Okay, because when the iron bar is at here, you form the electric current using the orange yellow, you will notice that only this section, which I use a highlighter to show you now, only this section forms a closed circuit. Okay, they will bypass the bulb P because this part below, the metal contact will form an open circuit. So bulb P will not be lit, only bulb Q. Okay, so only bulb Q will be lit when it's at B. But when it's at A, both will be lit. Okay, so you understand this, huh? So they say when the iron bar is at B, state how the brightness of bulb Q change. Okay, so if you have understood this, you will notice that when the iron bar is at B, right, you will notice that these two batteries will supply the electric current to only one bulb. But when it's at A, two bulbs share the same current. So mathematically, this is what happened. So Q is brighter when iron bar is at B. And the reason is when the iron bar is at A, P and Q are sharing the current, the electric current from the two batteries. But when the iron bar is at B, only bulb Q is using the current from the two batteries. So this will cause it to be brighter. So this question actually quite tricky, and this is the 5-mark questions which appears in the 2023 PSLE examinations. So there's a 5-mark question, and this is the one. This is the 5-mark questions which appears in the last year 2023 PSLE examinations. So this is very important. And I'm quite surprised that students from Jan'24 primary school, they have not learned electricity in P5. The school decided to switch this topic to P6. So I think it's good that students from Jan'24 primary school can highlight to the teachers to teach this question to the P6 students. And if the teacher cannot explain, you can use my YouTube channel video on this part to explain and learn this question well. So I wish you all the best in your science education with One Academy. Stay safe, take care, God bless. Cheers. Okay, this is the final questions in the 2023 PSLE science paper. So state what boiling means. Okay, boiling actually is taught in P5, and you need to state boiling is a process where a liquid gains heat and change to a gas at its boiling point. So this part, the boiling point, is a key word here. Part B, part 1, B1. Okay, so you look at this question. I have annotated this part to show a heat flow from the hot water through the electric pot to the glass top. So the question says that an engineer wanted to test if an electric pot can be used on a table with a thick glass top. So there's a thick glass top there. He heated water in the pot for 1 hour. So 1 hour is sufficient time for the electric pot to gain heat, and the heat is being transferred from an area of higher temperature to lower temperature, as indicated by the arrows here. So it is good to annotate, because by annotating, you will notice that the heat will actually flow to part A first before reaching part B. So explain why part A of the glass top was hotter than part B. So the answer is quite simple. You mentioned heat is transferred from the electric pot to the thick glass. As part A is nearer to the electric pot, it gains heat faster. It gains it faster from the pot compared to part B. So comparison must be stated here, because part B is further away. So therefore, part A gain heat faster than part B. Okay. So part B, actually B part 2 is related to part 1. Okay, because it gained heat slower, right, than part A. So part A actually expanded faster than part B, therefore causing the glass top to crack. So in the second part answer, you say that part A gained heat and expanded faster than part B. And you must mention the uneven expansion. Okay, this is a keyword. Uneven expansion causes the cracking of the glass top. Okay, so this is important part of what you learn in actually primary 4. Primary 4, you learn about heat, if you remember. And also in certain situations, we also learn about, the train track. You will learn in the past, right? If there's no gaps in between the railway track, will also cause the train track to wobble. Okay, because if there are no allowance given, so this will cause the train to derail. So once again, PSLE science, the content tested will be from P3 to P6. Okay, so take note that you need to lay a solid foundation from P3 to P5. So these are the questions that I've discussed today to help students prepare for their 2024 PSLE science examinations. And I wish you all the best in your science learning with One Academy. So this is Mr. How are you? Sending my greetings to every one of you. Stay safe, take care, God bless. Cheers. Okay, please take a look at this paper. It's actually the last year's PSLE 2023 paper. And I've analyzed this examination. And the objective of this exercise is to show you that about 65% of the content in the actual PSLE paper actually test content from P3 to P5. And therefore have a solid foundation from P3 to P5 science is essential for you to secure at least AL3 to AL1. So I want you to try your best to complete this exercise. And I've calculated of these questions here. 9 out of 28 questions in this paper are strictly P6 topic. So if you take your calculator, you put 9 divided by 28, you will know that you will get this number, 32.1%. So only 32.1% of the Section A questions are from P6. So if you can master your P3 to P5 topic well, you can secure at least about 68%, okay? 67.9% of Section A. So I want you to try this exercise. There are actually 28 questions here. And then do it within 45 minutes. Okay, ideally, you should complete the Section A, the 28 questions, between 40 to 45 minutes. Okay, do not do too fast, because if you do too fast, you may be careless in answering the questions. So notice this is a P6 question. I label here P6. So altogether, there are only 9 questions are P6. The rest are actually P5 questions. So I have put here 9 out of 28 questions are strictly P6. So I like you to complete this exercise. And then those who need more help, you can actually look for Mr. Yu for additional help in One Academy. So I'm focusing in helping students in answering Section B questions. So those of you who need extra help, you may take down this number to ask your parents to contact me to do coaching for you, because PSLE science is a very important subject and you can make significant improvement within a short period of time by my coaching. So I'm Mr. Yu here, sending my greetings to every one of you. Stay safe, take care, God bless. Cheers. So see you there.